So tonight I'm going to be talking about witchcraft attack. We always talk about witches and wizards every now and then. And we believe that witches and wizards, the only time people will say that they are being attacked by witches and wizards are when you see marks on your body, marks like scratches on your body, or you see like some blood stains or a tiny wound, which you can't really tell how you got that wound. That is the only time people believe that you're having a witch attack. Majority of us always say that they don't have enemies. They haven't offended anybody, and so they don't believe that somebody can harm them. That is what a lot of people believe. Anyway, yes, sometimes you may not offend anybody and no harm will come to you. Sometimes you don't need to offend anybody before people will decide to, take you down. So when you start experiencing something like this, you know that you are being under a witchcraft attack. It's not only when you see marks on your body. Now, there are so many of us who believe that we have never harmed anybody, we have never done anything wrong to anybody, and there is no reason for someone to attack you. But you do not know who you are. You know who you are physically. You know you are a man, you are a woman, you are a businessman, you are living okay, God has blessed you financially. That is all you know. But you can't really tell you who you are spiritually. And when you face spiritual attacks, it is because of who you are spiritually, not actually because of what you have acquired in life. So many of us believe that it is because we have made it. That is why a lot of people are after us. Yes, sometimes it's true, but most of the times you are being attacked based on who you are spiritually. That is when that kingdom have seen who you are, when they have seen that star, when they have seen that light in you, when they have seen that mark on your face, you are now a threat to them. And being a threat to them will make you their target. And so they will do everything possible to take you down. That is when you start seeing people having problems without having a physical enemy. Almost everybody by your side is your friend. You've never done anything wrong to anybody. But yet, you are facing hard times. You are facing so many temptations, so many trials. You are passing through a lot. And you have tried everything humanly possible to stop all those things. But they keep on repeating. Whenever you notice that you are being monitored spiritually, you are under that witchcraft attack. Most of the times, you may not know those who are attacking you. Sometimes you may know them. And let me tell us, whenever you are under any spiritual attack, there are ways that they can attack you. First, someone who doesn't know who you are cannot attack you spiritually, even physically. Someone who doesn't know who you are. Even if you want to attack somebody physically, you will have to first of all monitor that person. Learn everything about the person's movements, when he or she goes out, when he or she comes in, what he or she does. You will learn all those things so that you know when to attack that person physically. And so it is spiritually. When someone wants to attack you spiritually, they will learn everything about you, even the time you go to bed, the time you go out, the time you come in, whatsoever you do in life, they will learn everything about you before they will know how to attack you. Sometimes they get these informations from people very close to you. Doesn't mean that those people are party to these witches and wizards. They may not know, they may be giving out your information without having anything in mind against you. And so they get these informations from people very close to you. Sometimes these are people who are staying with you. You can even under the same roof, but you will never know. And until someone tells you, or until you discover by yourself, you will still not know. Sometimes these people do not need to come closer to you. All they need is your picture, your image, anything that represents you. That is all they need. And with this, they can go spiritual to monitor you, to know everything about you. And then they will attack you. And that is why you can wake up in the morning and receive a news that Somebody you saw yesterday, somebody who is healthy and hearty, who is doing well, there was nothing wrong with the person health-wise, and all of a sudden the person just dropped dead. Yes, we get such informations. Definitely, when you take that person to hospital, there must be a reason that the hospital will see. It's a must, there must be a reason. It's either it's going to be a heart attack, heart failure, or things like that. That is what the hospital will see first. Meanwhile, this person has been under a full surveillance of the witches and wizards. They have been monitoring this person, knowing when to attack this person. I thank God for the person who asked me to give this teaching again, because apart from what the person told me that she is passing through in the hands of people she is living with under the same roof, I equally got a message this week that it just passed, of a friend of mine. God actually brought her to me and showed me that in no distant time that she's going to be a widow. And God showed me, I do not know the people, but I saw 3 people, 3 men in particular, who are after her husband. And they are bent on taking the husband down. But they haven't been able to succeed because of the wife. And God showed me that and told me to ask her to start prayers immediately. So I called her and I gave her the message. I don't like biting words. When I give people messages, I give them messages exactly how God told me, exactly how I saw it. So I told her the whole thing. And she confirmed it. She told me, I called her on a Friday and I gave her the message. And she told me that she went for a fellowship on a Wednesday. And she was the only person, or the first person, that the pastor told to stand up and told her that he saw her as a widow, that in no distant time that she's going to be a widow. And so she asked me what to do, and I told her that the only thing that God said you should do is to go into prayers. That was the only remedy that God gave to her, to go into prayers. And so she was insisting on knowing the 3 men. I told her there is no way I would know who those 3 men are, but I saw 3 men after your husband. And once they get that man, you are going to be a widow in no distant time. And she told me that they don't have enemies. The husband doesn't have enemies. And that is no longer, it doesn't concern me anymore. This is one of the reasons why I brought up this topic. To you, you don't have enemy. You don't know anybody. You have never harmed anybody. But then there are people who are after you spiritually, who are bent on taking you down, spiritually and physically. And these are the people we call witches and wizards. It is not only those that flies at night that will come into your bedroom as a dog, or as a cat, or as a hawk to scratch you. It is not only that. As a matter of fact, to me, if you ask me, that is an ancient type of witchcraft attack. I don't think it exists anymore. This time around, that's your bestie, that person that you go out with, you hang out with, you eat, you drink, that sleeps in your house, you sleep in his or her house. That person can become a witch or a wizard to you without you knowing it. The reason why they are coming so close to you is to monitor everything about you, to when to attack you. They will not come in that at night. By that time, you are expecting them. They will not come to scratch you. They will not come to bite you. You are not going to see any mark, any blood on your body. But then you will be suffering. A lot of things will be happening to you. Meanwhile, there are people so close to you who love you so much. To you, they mean well for you, but you never can tell if these people are the ones behind whatsoever you are passing through in life. So stop saying that you do not have any enemy. You can say that you do not know if you have any enemy, not that you don't have any enemy. You know who you are physically. You are harmless as a dove. But spiritually, you are a threat to the kingdom of darkness. And being a threat is like being a challenge to them. And they will do everything humanly possible to bring you down. Everything possible to bring you down. Now, how do you handle this? Just like that message came to that my friend. Prayers. My life is just like a life of prayer. I cannot do without prayer. I cannot do without prayer. Everything I do spiritually is 98% of prayer and 2% of spiritual works. I so much believe in prayer. And when I'm praying, I will know if that prayer has been answered. Yes. When I'm praying, I will know if my prayer, I don't know how to say it, but if my prayer is making sense or not. I will know if that prayer is being channeled well. Whenever I'm praying, there are times when I will be praying and it will look as if I'm just talking to myself. I'm just blabbing. I'm just making noise. Whenever I get that feeling, I stop. It means the presence of God is not there. Or maybe he's silent, or I don't know how to put it. I stop. What I do is just to give myself a break. And then I know when to start again. But whenever I start praying, I know when the presence of God is there. So prayer remains the ultimate no matter what. Because if you are spiritually gifted, it is through prayers that you can receive the messages on how to handle certain problems. Even the spiritual works that we practice, it is through prayers. And when you are prayerful enough, you will receive messages on how to handle such things. So whenever it comes to witchcraft attack, I believe in prayers. Number one, I must pray my way out. I will fight that battle through prayers. And that was the message I got, and I gave it to the lady. Prayers. Pray in and out of season. Whenever you are praying, you are prayerful enough and you are staying close to people who are practicing witchcraft attack, your prayers will always keep them uncomfortable. No matter their practices, no matter their powers, whenever you start praying, they will not be able to perform. They won't be able to practice whatever they've already planned to practice against you. They won't be able to do anything. Your prayer will disarm them. That is what our prayer does. Your prayer will disarm them. But a lot of people will want to go into spiritual exercise. Going into spiritual exercise requires how powerful you are. If you are just an ordinary person who is not spiritually gifted, but because you have learned about spiritual practices and you want to practice one to fight witches and wizards, how strong are you? How powerful are you? Knowing fully well that these witches and wizards will never rest. They don't rest because the devil never rests. So when you fire them, they're going to fire you back. The only way you can disarm them, cut their wings and stop them entirely is through prayers. Through prayers. You really do not need to know who those people are. It doesn't make any sense trying to find out who those people are. Whatever they're doing it in the spiritual. They are fighting you spiritually. Because whatever they are going to do against you, they are going to do it spiritually, and then it will manifest physically. So you are going to fight that battle spiritually, and it can be handled perfectly through prayers. And this prayer that I'm talking about is not just your normal prayer. For the person who received the message of about becoming a widow in no distant time, in this type of prayer, when you see me praying, you will think that I am a mad woman. That is how I pray whenever it comes to such things. Because I have received such a prayer in the year 2006 when I was pregnant with my son, and some prayer people came to our house and they told me that they saw me as a widow. And meanwhile, throughout that month, I have been seeing myself putting on black mourning, and I didn't call it anything until those people came and told me that. Despite my pregnancy, I was 8 months pregnant. They gave me prayers. They gave me fasting and prayers. And I embarked on it. I prayed like someone who was going insane. When I mean praying, I prayed both midnight prayers. I prayed in and out every now and then until that death was reversed. It didn't occur anymore. Actually, God brought out how that death would have happened. He brought it to limelight and everybody saw it. And the man that was behind it died 6 months after. That is the power of prayer. That is what prayer can do for you. It can go a long way that you do not know. Except when you are spiritually powerful enough to handle spiritual practices, spiritual exercises, you can now back it up with your prayers. But if you know that you cannot perform certain practices, or maybe you performed it, but you can't tell if it's potent enough to handle such problems, please leave that side. Leave it for those who can handle it. Focus on prayer. There is nothing that prayer cannot do. There is nothing that prayer cannot do for you as long as you pray with your faith. Now, this type of people who are the witches and wizards that attacks us, if you do not know anything about them, you don't know them, you don't know how to see them physically, to know who they are, you can only do that through prayers. With your prayers, you will still get to know these people at the end. You will get to know who they are. You must finally find out who those people are through prayers. Now, if you happen to know these people, for the lady who told me that she is actually living with them under the same roof, and they are attacking her through witchcraft attack, please, I will advise you, if you notice that you are actually living with witches and wizards and you don't know how to handle them, my first advice is to move away from them. You cannot stay in the devil's domain and fight the devil unless the place where you are living is your house. You ask them to leave. But if it's not your house, I will advise you to leave. Move away from that place. Stay away from them. Because when you move away from them, they will find it difficult to attack you, because they will need to monitor you for them to know, how to attack you. If you move away from them, the next thing they're going to do is find someone who is closer to you, so that the person will be giving them information concerning you. Now, when you move away from them, it is now left for you to know how you relate with people, how you give out information concerning you to people. There are certain things that people do not need to know. You don't have to tell everybody what you are passing through, because you do not know the right person you may be talking to or the wrong person. You may be talking to the wrong person, thinking you are talking to the right person, and then the person will go and give them that information concerning you. So for the lady living with them, move away if the house is not yours. If the house is yours, ask those people to leave your house. Let them go. Now, another way for you to fight these people through prayers, one. Secondly, the use of spiritual materials. Mainly, the reason why we always advise people to use all these spiritual products is to help those who are not prayerful enough. If you are very prayerful, you do not need those spiritual materials. You don't need them. Your prayers will carry you through. But for those who cannot pray their way out, a lot of people are so lazy to pray. They don't want to pray. They prefer that man of God praying for them. And who told you that the man of God is actually praying for you? Who told you? At night you go to bed and you expect that man of God to stay awake praying for you. Meanwhile, that man of God has a very serious battle to fight spiritually. He has his own family to protect spiritually, and you believe that he's actually praying for you. So instead of relying on people, and you can't really tell if they're helping you out, that is why we recommend the use of spiritual products to help you out. And when it comes to these witches and wizards, the spiritual products that will help you out are mainly, that is for those who are staying closer to them, or you don't really need to stay closer to them if you're very sure that the attack you are getting is from witches and wizards. The number one spiritual product you are just supposed to have is the incense. It is a very powerful spiritual product. The incense, it drives them away. It drives away every evil spirit, no matter how powerful that evil spirit is. Whenever you light any incense, anywhere you are, take it around your house, wherever you find yourself, it will be so difficult for any evil spirit to penetrate. The smoke from that incense is too powerful. I do not know how it works. I do not know. It is very spiritual. But the incense is so powerful that it drives away every evil forces, including these witches and wizards, and including their manipulations, because whatsoever they will do to you is something that they will do spiritually, which is supposed to come to you spiritually. But the incense is going to hijack it. The incense is going to stop that plan from happening, together with your prayers. Another spiritual product which you are supposed to have is the holy water. The holy water. Please remember, anywhere you go and they ask you to pay for holy water, it is not holy water, please. It has to be a mixture. It has to be a concoction. It has to be another spiritual product that we do not know of. Nobody buys anything called holy water. It is given free of charge. Holy water is free. Get your water, get your salt, take to any priest, any pastor to bless you, and that makes it holy water. When you sprinkle it anywhere you find yourself, anywhere you are staying, it drives away the attacks of these witches and wizards. The holy water drives away evil spirits. The holy water drives away demons. The holy water drives away ghosts. When I mean ghosts, I mean that is the spirit of dead people. Assuming you are this type of person that normally sees the dead, maybe you see them live or you feel their presence around you and you no longer want that. The holy water drives them away. When you keep on sprinkling the holy water around you every now and then, such forces will no longer come near you. These two items are the items that you need to fight the witches and wizards together with your prayers. Keeping them at your house without making use of them, their presence in your house will not chase away those demons. You will have to make use of them. You will have to sprinkle that water. You will have to light that incense. You will have to pray because your word is equally needed. You will have to say something. You will have to utter a word, make a proclamation, say something, declare something. Once you start praying with these items, it is going to drive those witches and wizards away. The spiritual exercises are better left for those who are spiritually called. So many of us do practice some spiritual exercises, and at the end of the day, we do not get any positive result because maybe that particular spiritual exercise is not for you. Let me tell us, in practicing spiritual exercises, I've said this before, and I will continue to repeat it. The moment you are about to start, every spirit is present. When I mean every spirit, I mean negative and positive. And if you are spiritually gifted, you will feel the presence of these spirits. You will know the presence of the evil ones. You will know the presence of the gentle ones that are there to help you. The evil ones always comes with force. But the gentle ones, the ones who are supposed to be there to help you out, you will feel their presence in that gentle manner. So if you are spiritually gifted, whenever you are about to start spiritual exercises, you must feel the presence of every spirit, both good and bad. It is left for you now to know the one to choose. They are always there for you to make your choice. Choose the one you want. If you are for God, of course, you have to go for the positive ones. Except you are working on the other side, you go for them. And they will always be there to carry out your plans, whatsoever you have said. Anything that comes out from your mouth is what they are looking at. They are actually not looking at what you are practicing. Mixing this and mixing that is not what they are looking at. They are waiting for you to say something. Whatsoever you say is what they are going to do. So when you are not called, you won't be able to tell if that spiritual exercise that you have done has actually gone. It has actually been answered. You cannot tell. So that is why it is better left for those who are gifted. Certain spiritual exercises is better left for those who are gifted. When you are fighting against witches and wizards, I will advise you to forget practicing any spiritual exercise. Forget it. Forget it, because you may practice it and you think you got it. Or you may practice it and it went well, it actually hits them, they are still coming back. They will come back to attack you the more. And when they attack you the more, what are you going to do? So it is better to fight that battle with prayers. Because prayer is, as long as you are a human being and you are alive, you will be praying every now and then. It has to be our daily lifestyle. Just like you eat on a daily basis, so is prayer. You pray every day. You pray every now and then. Your prayer, even if you pray for 1 week and you didn't pray for the following week, that is why I call prayer banks. Prayer are like banks where you store your money, where you keep your money for future use. Whenever you are praying, God is actually storing those prayers for you. There are always times when we find ourselves in difficult situations that we can no longer pray, maybe due to sickness. You are down, seriously down, and you can no longer pray. Or you find yourself somewhere that you can't even open your mouth to pray. Those ones that you have prayed will now be working for you. That is how prayer works. It will now be working for you. So whenever you are facing any witchcraft attack, prayer remains the ultimate. Prayer remains the ultimate. Don't practice any spiritual exercise you know you cannot continue. Practicing this spiritual exercise is just like someone who is using voodoo. When you are fighting the demon will definitely fight you back. If the demon fights you back, of course, you have to bring in another strategy to fight the demon when it comes to spiritual exercise. Now, for us to get these strategies, we will have to increase our prayer life so that we'll get messages from God. That is why prayer still remains the ultimate. As you are praying, your prayer is going out, fighting for you, front, back, sideways. So for the person whose message is that she's going to be a widow in no distant time, please, because I told her to join me live. Please, don't try to run here and there. If you are running here and there, let it be where people of God will join hands in prayer with you, so that they will pray the spirit of death out from your family. Don't run to places where they will give you concussion to fight people you do not know. Please, your prayers will do that for you. God has already said that you should pray. He is waiting for you to say something. He's waiting to see that eagerness in you to save your husband. And the moment you start, he's going to accomplish every other thing. For the lady who said that she's living with those witches and wizards, I do not know if the people you are talking about are your family members or your friends. I do not know, but whichever one, please, you will have to stay away from them. It's either they stay away from you or you stay away from them. Stay away from them. Limit your information to people. Mind how you relate with people. Make sure you are praying every now and then. And wherever you find yourself, use these spiritual products that I've just mentioned. They are the products that will help you to fight witches and wizards. The holy water and the incense. Not just witches and wizards. They are the forces of darkness. Their plans, their patterns. These two spiritual products will help you to fight them. So if you have any question to ask me, please write down your questions. Write down your questions. Let's treat it one after the other. It doesn't necessarily mean that you must be facing witchcraft attack before you can ask your questions. No. If you have any other question concerning any spiritual issues that you are passing through, just write it down. Let's talk about it. Write down your questions. Write down your questions if you have any. Write down your questions. I'm waiting for your questions. And I equally want to tell us this, please. There's another strategy that these witches and wizards normally uses. When you complain about what you are passing through, they are the ones that will tell you that they do not believe in witches and wizards. Yes, these witches and wizards are always the ones that will tell you that they do not believe in witches and wizards, that they do not believe that they exist. They don't believe in their powers, that they can harm you. They are actually telling you that so that you will zero your mind in everything concerning witches and wizards for them to penetrate. So whenever you talk about such and you hear someone say such to you, that you should not believe in such things, that they do not exist, that they are a that, stay away from that person. Stay away from that person. They are actually trying to cage your spirit. They are actually trying to drain your faith in God so that you will no longer believe that such things exist. And then they can do whatever they like to you. Okay? So I'm still waiting for your questions if you have any. And please help me to share this live. Please, just a tap on your share button will do that for me. Share this live for me and double tap your screen to like. If you really love tonight's teaching or if you really love this page, double tap your screen to like. Please, it will cost you nothing.